Oops, I did not edit the date. Okay, nah, I think that's fine. It should be saved. All right. It should be saved. Oy, okay. I guess we're just waiting for people to get in, but hey. Hope everyone's doing alright. Alright. So today I think we're going to finally commit to closing off most of this alleyway. And then I think I want to start looking at shaping this area around the entrances to the new building B. Boston Indies is now following me on Twitter. That is interesting. So yeah, also heads up, this might be a truncated session because as it turns out, one of my roommates just left this morning. Like they moved out, and we have another person moving in today, and they said it was going to be sometime during the afternoon. So I may need to stop streaming at some point and help them out. So I hope that's all right. It also does not help that I need to run over across town and take care of my sister's cat, actually. So I gotta do both of those today, and then I gotta figure out, dinner or something. Like, Jesus. Okay. So yeah, let's close this place up. I think I said I'd be interested in having a potentially a back area here with its own doorway, ideally. so we could have a back area here and just keep the nice illuminated street lamp area. And that way, the player comes up here from this higher area, they can peek through the fence and see, oh, there's like a secret thing there. What we would put there to make it a secret area and to make it fun and rewarding to get there, I don't know, but I think it is worth consideration. And then after that, we're just closing all this off just to hopefully minimize the amount of surface area. So yeah, I think I'm gonna get rid of those. Yeah, maybe not. Yeah, not that this is necessarily the best marker of like where this should end, because this was sort of an arbitrarily placed street lamp, but it seems like a nice guide. you know. I want to delete this. Delete these. Want to delete these, and we're gonna get rid of this AI. This guy didn't have any no key on him. That's good. Oh god, those were world spawn. Jesus Christ. Just cutting up the whole damn place. May have something back here, I guess. Yeah, maybe, because otherwise this is just kind of a dead end, I think maybe having a short alley in here to serve as a hiding spot might be nice, just, for the player to wait out specific timing if they want to, like, run across this particular lock. Which is not raised to like a walking height here, actually. So let me fix that. Where are we? We're over here. This surface is actually higher than that one. Strange reversal. What is this grid size? 2? All right. And that is... All right. That's level. So these two guys are 16 units from each other. So all right, I got a tab, then E, then select this thing. Jeez. 1, 2. That should be good. And then tab E. 1, 2. And there we are. One perfect smooth slope. 405. Okay. The new guy just texted me. I'll be there. All right. So I got to end a little bit before 4, I guess. So we still get, a good almost 2 hours, hopefully. Okay, so now what are we gonna do with this? Well, first off, I don't think we need this corner piece anymore. That should simplify things. I also think we can just apply skybox to these. We should be fine. And why are there 2 of these anyway? We don't need them. And there's still a gap there. Yeah. Right, so let's go about here for the split. There we are. I'm just gonna sidle this on up. Sidle? I don't know. Yeah, I believe the whole surface of this building is flush, so yep, looks fine to me. Oh, and of course this will just be a giant ass apartment complex or something, or whatever the period appropriate equivalent of a apartment complex would be. I think I made this shape just because I wanted to break out of having, everything be at a 90-degree angle. And I'm not sure there's much more justification for that. So, I don't know. Would a back entrance here make a lot of sense? I don't know. God, what am I going to do with this? Jesus. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. So I think I want to take the approach I did with the entry out here. Which is, I suppose, to consider, if I were to add another way in here or add another entrance along here, what would the shape of motion through the space be? And, how do I, change this up in order to hopefully accentuate that? Hey, how you doing? God. Hmm. I'm thinking of adding something like here to be like a back way in. But I'm not sure, because if the player comes in through here, the first thing they're going to see is like an entryway here, I guess. And I think that might draw them towards that more than it would actually draw them towards the very important thing, which is getting a wrench out of here in this room. And that's sort of the focus of this room. In a way, we already have the perspective lines going towards this area. Not that I really consciously did that. Nor do I think that's as supported as it potentially could be. Object looking systems. I guess I'm okay. Went up for a week back to my parents for Christmas. I received too many books. There were also a couple of old ones in, my room at my parents' house that, I want to take with me anyways. So that kind of didn't help. Whoops. So basically if I do that, I don't know if I add like a 45 angle thing over here and then sort of have it like wrap around, I guess. Have the space and guide the player towards here. That might be, interesting, I guess. Does it necessarily make a lot of sense in this space? I don't think so. Then again, this place is on like stilts. It's a fucking Baba Yaga house. Object pooling system. Oh, I see. Extra sad. I'm always sad. That's my secret. No. Yeah, I've just been struggling with a lot of thoughts about how to proceed. Well, for better or worse, I don't know if I mentioned the brewery last week, but I put in an application with a place, and they finally got back to me. And I have an interview with them tomorrow, so hopefully that goes well, and I get a part-time job or something close to full-time maybe. But yeah. So hopefully that helps. Now that I think about it, I think the stairs ought to be over here, but that doesn't give it a lot of landing space. So maybe I should push this back a bit. Well, thank you. Also saw an opening. Red Barrels is hiring, which is pretty neat. They said they're looking for a level designer, so they're in Montreal though, so me needing to get a work visa or something would certainly not simplify things, but I really like their stuff. I've worked in Unreal before, so hopefully that helps. Oh, this is shifted over by like a fraction of a unit or something. That's odd. Oh, it's shifted over. Oh, yeah, right. Oh, God. Oh, is this like a staircase that rotated? That might be why. Ugh. Anyways, that's a little closer to actually being up against the wall now. What's the grid size now? Put it at 8. We're gonna slice up this wall in line with this far face of the steps. Oh, right, X. Try creating some portfolio pieces. Well, that's the goal here. Am I doing good? Oh, this is already level with the outside. Interesting. I thought it would be lower, so we'd have some nice stairs coming like up. All right. Maybe it's also not smart to have like an opening here for portal, like in front of this opening, in front of this opening. You know. Oh yes, and of course we would have to. Well, I want to clear the space for the AI first before we go shifting path nodes. Sample games in Unreal or something. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Maybe we then have this. Pulled back. And then we. Oh, really? I don't know. I just feel like and I've been considering this a lot more recently. I think that I would much rather, if I were to make a small game, that I would just, actually commit to a, independent or commercial release, as opposed to just something to put up on my site. I mean, obviously, like if you make an independent game, that is all very clearly a good thing for job seeking. And I don't want to sound like I don't know, indignant or ungrateful, but it's sort of like, I mean, I get what you're saying, and it definitely makes sense for like a student. Like if you're a student and you have made a game in some of your courses, and you don't have experience in a studio prior, then like yeah, that absolutely makes sense. Um, but I don't have, say, a great amount of design work shipped, but I did put in some design work on uh, Underworld Ascendant. Um, I guess that's just one of those. I don't know. A lot of the stuff with hiring is so you know um, obscured, and obviously I don't think there's like one right answer for nailing like every job opening and interview process that you go through. Um, but I don't know. I would feel like there would come a certain point where you start, once you have enough experience with things, then you just don't need to like make stuff on your own in order to get a new job. You can just rely on your past experience, your past shipped works. But of course, the big question is, am I there? Um, and I really don't know. So yeah, maybe I maybe I should um, actually more strongly consider your advice. Yeah. Instead of getting all defensive. Jeez. Um, okay, I'm looking at this and. Hmm. Maybe if I have an entry to a short side area here, and then like the door is facing like this direction, that would work. If they do something in this game in, it's better suited for you. It's not doing anything. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I yeah, how to put this? I don't know. I don't know if I talked specifically with you, about the way I was let go, but they had been promising me a promotion to designer for a few months, and then they, laid me off instead. Um, and so it was very interesting having talks with them and feeling like, oh, great, I have made it, or I'm about to have made it, in terms of moving up from QA to design. And I don't know when that, you know, promise got. Sorry, I'm shifting my chair. Um, when that promise got, broken, withdrawn. Um, I don't know. Like, I had done some QA between years at college. Like, I did it over one summer break. Um, and, I felt that, my 3 months, well, 2.5 months, but it's three on the resume, of course, um, was basically enough for me to say, like, hey, look, I've done my time in QA. I have, put in my dues, as it were. And, I'm ready for that design position. And I was not getting a lot. I was not getting a lot of callbacks from companies, and that went on for like a year and a half. I ended up on Albino Lullaby, but that wasn't paying. Um, and so I felt like I wanted to, or I felt like I had to basically bite my tongue and go back into doing QA, even though I had a degree, even though I had a level design portfolio, all this. And so I basically felt to myself like, okay, I'm getting over this idea of me being quote unquote owed a position, but this is the place that I'm gonna work my way up in. So that job was at Other Side, and that was in QA, and I was just like, okay, if I move up there, I'll be working on things like System Shock 3 as a designer. If everything goes well. And then that was very close to happening. And they basically said as much, like, you are capable of working a design position, we'll move you up. And then again they retracted that, basically. So it's difficult because when they talk to you like that, you feel like validated in a way, because you feel like you've already proven yourself, basically, to be quote unquote worthy of the high skilled labor positions. And so to again be told that but not have that followed through on, I feel like I have this idea, or this attitude, if you will, of like, why do I need to prove myself again? Like, I got screwed on this. So so I think that's definitely part of my defensiveness at points. I also feel like I am running this channel, basically saying like, I've worked in the industry, I can talk about level design. And really, I can't seem to get a design position. That has sort of been a contradiction, I feel, with myself, and making these videos that kind of bugs me. God, we're getting psychoanalytic here, huh? um, yeah, but more broadly and wider. I have been hanging out with people in Boston, and talking among the people in the game development scene here, and I've talked with a lot of people who have actually left the games industry, and quite a few of them have similar stories to what I just went through. They said, my boss said, they'd or they go in and they work in QA, and they say, okay, this is gonna bring me up to a design position, and then it's like easy street from there on out, and then they get kicked to the curb once the project ships. And to realize that more broadly, the game industry is dependent on a lot of people going into quality assurance and low skilled labor, because they need people to just do that work, but it's unappealing work, and so therefore they have to create this big myth of, no, well, you put in your dues and then we'll move you up. And they never follow through on that, or very rarely follow through on that. That to me, I think, is a more broad thing that I'm angry about. When I started realizing it wasn't just me, and it was like tons of people, I don't know. I guess that's why I get more indignant about this sort of thing. It's like, you should treat me better because you should be treating like everyone better, basically. When I'm thinking about like applying to larger studios, and the way that the hiring process is just such a fucking mess. I learned a lot from videos. Pause your video and copy the STEM response code. Oh, neat. That's just that. I learned a lot of stuff on level design. It's pretty much the only channel I've come across. The content creator conducts real research. Oh. Well, thanks. So yeah, that's like a lot of what's going through my head right now. I think this is the yeah. Mm-hmm. Gonna get pretty close to a 45 here, or maybe more of like a 30-degree angle. Yeah, something like that. Then I may have wanted to actually put a wall there first. Better get it out of your system. Yeah. But to be fair, I've just been like rambling like this for months at this point. Like, this is a great injustice, you know. And I don't know. There's still no resolution, I suppose. Okay. I don't want the cobblestone inside here, obviously. So, let's go here. Yeah. 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 Go to about here. Basically match that up with this slope, and then drag that out here. Move this up. Okay, good. And then we can just apply that texture. All right. Where's a door? Actually, if I can make this... Yeah, I'd like to make that a double. Girlfriend studies psychology, watch game dev, stuff for me. She's being supportive. Oh, well, thank you. Yeah. I think a lot of the sentiments I just expressed, I want to make like a shorter video. Basically just do a breakdown of, you know, the hiring process and like, you know, the situation of trying to get employed as a game designer. I know I threw that out as an idea last week. But yeah. Alright, something like this. Something over here. Yeah, basically. Yeah, good enough for now. Cool. Then I'll just make a copy of this in order to make a viz portal here. Probably want to make this a bit thinner. Viz portal. Yay! There we go. Is it over here? That's all right. Rotate. I think. Yeah, if I recall, this is going to be. Positive direction, I think, and that's going to clip into the wall here, and I do not want that. So I think I want to make this negative. Either that or it could be like 45 degrees, and that'd be fine. Favorite games this year and or decade? Oh, good question. I think I missed this segment on the Writing on Gamescast. They just had their, extravaganza two-parter Game of the Year episode, where, they spend like 4.5 hours in each episode just listing games and debating placement. So they brought up some stuff, and I think I missed their Game of the Decade segment because they listed it at the end of the episode. I'm like, I don't recall hearing that part, but they said, like, for decade, I think it was Pokemon Sword and Shield, and then Death Stranding or something, really, which was strange. So I don't know what their candidates were, but I guess I'm surprised that like Portal 2 didn't come up. I think Portal 2, probably the Stanley Parable, as well as the Beginner's Guide. Oh, I should probably close that roof. And this is obviously for decade. Let me also look what I have here on my shelf. Gosh, what year did Little Big Planet come out? My God. Absolutely not. think what I'm going to do instead is I'll... Yeah. Something like that. If Little Big Planet came out in 2010, then that's definitely going on. Probably a couple of the Ratchet and Clanks on the PS3, because those were pretty good. 2008. Jeez. Well, I guess not then. Clip that there. Boom. I think if I bring that down to that thickness... cool. It's gonna pull these shenanigans on me. Okay. Oh, why can't you cooperate? Ugh. This, fuck it, it's fine for now. I think it might be neat to have some sort of partial alley or something that like dips down, have like a stairway down. Dragon Age Inquisition. If I played that, I would have probably taken a very different view from my... Oh, nice. Yeah, actually, now that I think of it, I know people dunk on it so much now, but Skyrim, yeah, that was the... Oh god, that was one of the bigger RPGs that I had bought. I think one of the first that I really spent a serious amount of time in. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I haven't really played it for quite some time, but it still really holds water, I think. That? Oh. No, it's not quite. Okay. We created profit, feel like no game ever did before since. I'm not sure of the MMO elements or what you mean by that specifically. but I don't know. I really, I don't know. There's something really special about the first time I was able to use a dragon shout in a fight, or like right after that mission where you fight a dragon off with some of the soldiers there. I don't know. It kind of unlocked to me like a sort of maybe that's what you mean by MMO elements. Although maybe I shouldn't put words in your mouth. But yeah, if that's what you're referring to, it means that like you have the time of certain spells, and they have like a cooldown timer, and then like the shouts have a longer cooldown timer, but because of that they're more powerful. Yeah. All right, so oh yeah, maybe I should move this over a bit further. Yeah. Actually, yeah, let's just line this up with a skybox. Basically. Now, how does this feel? Um, yeah, I don't know. Hey Zach, how you doing? I guess what you mean by MMO stuff, like a lot of like fetch quests. Oh, or do you mean like the skill leveling systems? Oh, neato. Noah Gervais. He's quite good. You know, I hear a lot of good things about that guy. You think his videos get a lot of views? Okay, well, I can't say this is the most realistic shape for a room. But I could probably fit a third whole tank in here. I don't know if that'd be good though. Same, Zach. Oh gosh. So hmm. I mean, fair. Oh, yeah. So, I think we were talking about books last time. And, oh, I don't like that Z fighting. Oh, wait. But I pulled that down for a reason. Great. Oh, yeah. We were talking about books last time, and I, got a lot of books for Christmas. I think I showed on my Twitter. I got a pattern language, which is that architecture book I wanted. So I'm looking forward to reading through that after I get through like 6 other books. But I also got, interestingly, a master class yearly pass, and I was most interested in it because of the Frank Gehry architecture course. But on there's also one by Will Wright, talking about game design, and I was like, well, this would be interesting to get his perspective on. So, I started looking at that as well. And interestingly, coincidentally, in one of the first videos, he's talking about like his inspiration for games coming from like research into different topics, and that sort of forms the ideas for him. And he said, like, here's a bunch of books that inspired me, and one of them was a pattern language. I was like, wait, I just got that. So it seemed like an insane coincidence. He said he used that for inspiration for The Sims. It's pretty cool. That masterclass, the architecture one. I don't know. I was not sure how much of basically like a grift it was for like premium video essays, basically. Um, I watched the first couple of videos in the course, and it's basically just this architect in his 70s kind of rambling very like platitude like life advice. And they don't mention the assignment PDFs at all in the videos, but you're supposed to download them and like do an assignment with them or something. And it's kind of weird. Neil Gaiman Masterclass is pretty good if you're into writing. Sure. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like the ones that are more focused on like very specific material outcomes are the ones that are going to be more effective. Like they have like 4 or 5 different courses on like cooking, right? And so it's I would assume that for each of those videos, it's basically just like here's a video and here's basically a recipe contained within this video, and then like that gives me very concrete info to work with. Similarly, there's the Penn and Teller masterclass, which I would assume is just like here's how you learn to do a trick, or here's how you learn to do like a whole like class of tricks, or a whole category rather. So yeah. Oh right, we wanted to figure out a way for the player to be able to get back here. I think. Does it feel like it's a little too obvious to just have a door here? I don't know. There are some pretty funny things that Frank Gehry said out of context. But I don't know. I'm just hoping it does become worth something, because I would like to get better at recreating architectural structures. You know? Maybe if we... Oh, I don't know. Oh, I can't see a damn thing. Whoops. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe if we had the balcony come through a door out here and extend out there, but I'm not sure what the purpose of that would be. Like that wouldn't make sense fictionally, I think. The more I think about it now, the more the I guess marketing of the architecture course is basically centered around 28. Let's do 3 player widths. It's more centered around architecture as like I'm going to make the a beautiful exterior of a building, as opposed to, say, practical things like, floor planning and stuff like that. Um, which is the stuff that would be more useful and applicable for me. Um, okay. Okay. So we got more space to punch this out. Yeah, I guess doing this would be alright. Hmm. Time server graphs for architecture. Oh, wow. That's interesting. Fuck it, I'm gonna write that down. Mm-hmm. No, thank you. That I bet that's gonna be really handy. I'll be right back. Actually, I gotta use the restroom. Wow, that's really great. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. Um, yeah. Um, I guess also just a warning. I'm probably gonna call this in 30-ish minutes. Because again, I have a new roommate who's coming in, and he's supposed to arrive at around 4. So yeah. Just a heads up. Um, Actually, if I shift this whole thing over, that might be better. My line of reasoning is, if I want a door out to the back area here, I want there to be some sort of, awning or covering in order to, make it look like, there's like shelter from rain or something like that. But I want that to be against like, um, like this wall and this wall, basically, to make it look like, it's mounted to two surfaces and looking a little more stable. Um, and so basically I want the door basically right around, here relative to the wall. But I think this is too far up in terms of, trying to fit this in the interior, So yeah, this thing lines up actually pretty much exactly with this. So instead of that, time saver standards for architecture. Oh, neato. Oh yeah. Okay. This looks a lot better. If I can take a look at the top here, yeah, that's pretty much in line with these two tanks. Obviously, I don't think I want to squeeze a door like that tightly between those two things, but yeah. Tried Houdini. Is that like architecture planning software? My dad had a some sort of software that you could like create house plans with, and I actually remember playing around with that a lot as a kid. We gotta do a step up somewhere. That's all right. Oh, Autodesk. No, I've not used Houdini. I've used, I think almost entirely Maya, but yeah, same idea. Same idea. Let's go. Autodesk AutoCAD. Oh, whoops, I'm going the wrong direction. I mean, maybe. I know you could like. I mean, obviously you can import meshes into here, but I'm not sure that's useful when translating to BSP. Certainly for something like Unreal, that would absolutely help. Oh, that's not good. It's like half. Node-based creation of procedurally generated assets. Whoa. Oh, maybe that's how it got the name. Actually, no, I want to rotate this 180. Oh, so we can hopefully just delete this. Yeah, it looks like it. Provided this is world spawn. Yes, okay. Cool, good. We could just get rid of that. And then we could really shrink this down, pull it in. Yeah, bring that down. Maybe I loosen. Interesting. not quite even, but I think that's alright. I was thinking about this while I was making it. It's like if this is say an area that gets a lot of rain, and you have this sunken entryway into a space, then that's just going to make all the water pool down there, basically. And so, because of that, I wanted to put an extra 4 units between this floor and the outside ground. Just to sort of give it a little bit of a puddle area or a reservoir. Because otherwise, all that water would just come leaking into the facility, and that ain't great. All this done on Unreal. Once the tool is made, so you can change the look of things on fly. Oh, wow, neato. Yeah, I might look into that then. Now that you mention it, this sounds similar to what Unreal's shader graphs are like, or like what's it? Shader Forge in Unity. I mean, shaders can, procedurally generate meshes, so yeah, it sounds like it'd be similar. Oh. All right, Shader Forge. I think they stopped supporting it or something, or like the guy stopped updating it because Unity. Right, Unity has its new high def render pipeline stuff. So it's a 128. 128, and then I think the next one is 96 by 90, or 196 by 196 for player width. Yeah, this looks fine. They edit the shaders though. Yes. Yeah. Graphics programming is definitely one of those areas where a lot of it escapes me. During college, actually, when I was in Montreal, we had a case where the programming majors needed to take a course called Graphics 2, which was basically 3D graphics programming, and they only had one professor, and he was in Montreal, so they needed to stream it back to the main campus in the United States. So I ended up getting hired to do that. So basically, I got paid to sit in on a class and attempt to learn some of this stuff. And it was just beyond me so much of the time. I was just like, I'm completely lost, and I don't know what's going on. Hey. This is a bit dark, but that's probably alright. Actually, no, I don't know. Computer vision. Damn. I don't know, that sounds more sci-fi. Or maybe like a Devo song. I say, knowing no Devo, other than Whip It. for a programming test for a company called Sanzaru. It was like the only programming opening I applied to where I got a test and then an interview. One of the questions was regarding finding a point in space relative to the player and determining if it was on their left or their right. And I was just so lost. So I had to ask one of my friends, like, hey, what exactly is going on here? And they were like, okay, you need to look up cross products and dot products in terms of 3D vectors. And I spent so much effort trying to teach myself that, and it ended up working. And because I put so much effort into that, I still have the basic idea, and I find it very useful and handy to bring up. But learning it was strenuous. It's closer to using MS Logo, if you even know what that is. I guess not. Is that a Microsoft thing? Actually, now that I think about it, it'd be good to have maybe a little drain here, or a decal that looks like a drain. Again, for all the water potential pooling up potentially. Local to world majors. These are fucking I would imagine. Oh god. Yeah. I'm gonna do a nitpick here. Nitpicky adjustment, but yeah. Actually, I don't know why I have that upside down. Yeah, that works. That less so. Oh, interesting. That sounds weird. Turtle-based logo generation. The 90s were weird. I don't even know if that was the 90s, but that very much sounds like it. Oh, Zach, have you been improving those comments? Thank you for that. That's what I'm saying. another moderator just handled this. Stealing my thunder, Zach. I remember there was some sort of kids program that was trying to teach coordinate systems, and I kept messing it up for so long because I got latitude and longitude backwards. And so, like, the ship, it was like a little thing of, like, a pirate ship, or like some sort of, ship in the Caribbean trying to, like, salvage treasure at certain locations. I was just like, enter the right coordinates. And, I kept getting it backwards. Yeah. Alright, is this locked? I don't want this locked. This is probably okay. I feel like I want at least one light source in here, and I'm not sure exactly where to stick that. Well, certainly I don't want it to like be within the I don't want to overlap with the doors here, because getting in and out, there should be like a safe transitionary space, I think, or safer, relatively. Maybe if I also think in terms of the read, because okay, we're gonna come in here. There's all this stuff over here, and this is kind of dark, right? Maybe there should be like some sort of illumination here. But if we come through here, then what are we getting? I think having some sort of light here, maybe, so that we could see it like extend from around the corner, and you get that contrast. But I think that would involve placing a light basically in this really narrow area, and I'm not sure I want to do that. Also, that's pretty close to this one. I could see this. Maybe. Oh. What, the room in here, you mean? Yeah, the one with the vats of water. Yeah, yeah. Ah. Well, thank you. Exactly. Yes. So these do not overlap. That's good. Stretch this out so it actually hits the wall here. And then if we come out here, oh yeah, maybe a little further. First off, I think we could raise this. Second, pull that out here a bit. More or less. I guess. And for some reason, I am possessed to put some sort of covering over here. Zach's videos are quite good. You should go check them out sometime. Yeah, he also interviewed me like a couple of years ago at this point, which was right before I got the other side job, actually. So, I believe that's in half. Maybe make this a different material so it just sticks out. Should just be like a little awning like that, or like a little weird mini roof there, or I don't know, make it taller so it actually looks like a partial hallway. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go partial hallway. Not that this leads to anything. I think in this case it's okay. Raise this 80, 96. Me or Zach or both? Because I use this thing right here called Hit Film, which is good because it has a free version, the Express version. But yeah. Okay. And then at least something within this space to illuminate it. It filmed pretty good. From what I've heard, it's pretty similar to Premiere. Yeah. Okay, this is pretty good. Yeah, yeah, I like that. This, and let's select no. That, okay, good. These are not overlapping. Maybe a small light source on the side of here to illuminate the shed. Or maybe a street post here-ish. Yeah, that could work. Oh, right. Right, I gotta prep for the new roommate incoming, so I think I gotta call it here. But thanks. Chipped away a little more at the surroundings of Building C, and that's pretty good, as well as the interior. I didn't think we'd do that, but we did. And yeah. All right. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and see you next week. Bye.